Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica and today we're staying at home. It's a gray, miserable, foggy day out there. There's nowhere to go. Everything's closed down anyway, so we figured we might as well make the most of our day today at home. And I'm gonna make some pancakes this morning. We haven't done that in a long time, so what a better way to start the day with some nice pancakes. I'd also like to do some indoor gardening today. I have to take care of the succulent that I discovered. The head got snapped off somehow a few weeks ago, so I'm going to try and propagate the leaves and make some more succulents off of that. There's also a couple of things I need to get done around the house, and so since we're home, it's the perfect opportunity to get those done. So I would love it if you guys came along and spent the day with us. And without further ado, let's get into it. Dave and I have been trying to eat a little bit healthier, less processed. So I'm making some coconut flour pancakes this morning. This is some homemade vanilla that I made myself. I think I might do another video on how to make some homemade vanilla extract and some vanilla paste. This is our first time making this recipe. I was looking for something that's either almond or coconut flour based, and so this is one of the first recipes that David found and it looked interesting, so we thought we'd give it a shot. Of course, Jordan realized that I was baking something in the kitchen, and so he always likes to be involved, so you see him here pushing his learning tower. We recently got this and he loves it. It's given him so much independence, and he can be right next to me in the kitchen, so it's been great. He's been loving it, I've been loving it. So here he is climbing on his tower, and he's ready to help me bake. The original recipe said it only made 5 to 6 pancakes, and I knew that wouldn't be enough for David, Jordan, and I. So I went ahead and doubled it. In the original recipe, there's 3 eggs, but obviously I had to put 6 eggs since I was doubling the recipe. So you'll see the batter is very yellow, but at least it made it high in protein, which should be a little bit healthier. So this is what I'm talking about. The batter is very yellow, but they did come out tasting delicious. Jordan hates getting his hands dirty, so I made sure to clean his hands before we moved on to the next step. I started by preheating the skillet. You want to have it on medium-low heat, and that way your pancakes won't burn before the inside is cooked. And you want to keep these on the smaller side as well, because there's no traditional flour in them. They tend to fall apart a little bit easier, so I did about 2 tablespoons for each pancake, and then once you see these bubbles coming through, you kind of know that they're ready to be flipped. You can kind of peek underneath to see. This is what the final product looks like. They look like traditional pancakes. They didn't really taste like it, but with a little maple syrup on top, and once you had a few bites, actually they kind of grew on you. They tasted really good. After cleaning up after breakfast, I thought I would move on to take care of the succulents that needed to be tended to. These were favors from my baby shower with Jordan, and so they're really sentimental for me. I wanted to keep them alive since I managed to keep them alive all this time. And I wanted to try to make a new succulent plant out of the leaves of this one. First of all, before doing anything, I like to set the mood. So because it was a great day, I thought I'd light some candles and make that a nice experience. Poor Zoe was a little bit fussy this morning. She wanted to be held, and so since I needed my hands to be free, I wore my baby carrier. It's a baby katan. I did mention it in one of my other videos, and I will link it up above so you can take a look at that. But it's a great tool. I was able to wear her and have my hands free to do what I needed to do that morning. So when you're trying to propagate a succulent, from what I've seen online, I've never tried this before, so this will be a first for me as well. You want to kind of twist the leaves off, and so they kind of snap at the base. And then you want to let those leaves dry for 2 or 3 days until a bit of a callus forms at the base of where you ripped off the leaf from the stem. And that way there's no rot that happens. I had previously ripped off a few leaves, maybe 3 or 4, but I didn't get a chance to continue doing that. And so I'm doing the rest of the plant right now. I'm just going ahead one by one and ripping off the leaves, and I'm going to let those dry a few days before putting them on the soil. Next, I took some soil and put it into a shallow dish. I had this plate left over from a pie we bought, an apple pie that we bought a few days ago. But you see here, I've placed the leaves on top of the soil, and I'm going to be drying out the rest of the leaves and then putting those on the soil in the next few days. And then you want to make sure you water the leaves every morning. So I read somewhere that it was better if you spray it, and so it's a light mist of water instead of just soaking the soil. Miss Zoe was still sleeping at this point after I was done. And Jordan saw that I was spraying the water and he wanted to play a little bit. He's obsessed with water, so I figured why not and spray him, and he thoroughly enjoyed that. At this point, it was just before Jordan's nap. He was drinking his milk and I had a few minutes to spare. The baby was still sleeping, so I thought I would take care of this fiddle leaf fig tree that my mother-in-law gifted us. It's pretty low maintenance, but the leaves were looking kind of dusty, so I thought I would take this opportunity to dust off the leaves a little bit and make it look a little bit more alive. These plants are pretty low maintenance. They don't need a lot of water. They just require some indirect sunlight, and they're usually pretty happy. Throughout my whole pregnancy, I was really craving a nice glass of red wine and some oysters, which of course are things you can't have while pregnant. And so David decided to spoil me and get a nice bottle of red wine and some oysters for us to share just before he made us a beautiful steak dinner. It was the perfect ending to a nice day at home. After dinner, I made myself a nice cup of tea. It was my first time trying this Tulsi lavender tea. I've heard that Tulsi is very good in helping you relax at the end of the day and helps also with digestion, so I thought I'd give it a try. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed spending the day with us. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Bye.